Howdy, howdy. Let's get started today. We are going to be talking about full site editing. FSE is what it's called. My name is Dustin Hartzler. I'm the host of the Your Website Engineer podcast, and it's been a couple years since I've done a webinar. Not even going to say how many. It's been a long time since I've done one of these webinars. And as a support engineer, I spend time every day like helping people figure out how to use full site editing. And it is very, very hard to talk about. It's very hard to just communicate like, oh, you have to go over here and click this button and do this thing. So I think that showing off this new editor and what's in WordPress 6.2 and what's going to be coming in 6.3 is going to be really it's going to be a lot easier to see and understand when we go through this. So that's what we're going to do today. I've got some slides. I've got a demo. So let's dive right in. Here's the outline. We're going to talk a little bit about what FSE is, what is full site editing. We're going to talk about how it's different from classic themes, and we're going to talk about why it's going to speed up your development. If you're somebody that spends a lot of time creating websites for customers or clients or yourself or whoever, I think you'll see some really big value in how much faster you can create a website with full site editing. So that's what we're going to discuss today. First up, FSE, and you'll hear this said a lot, stands for full site editing. This is a brand new section of your WordPress dashboard. It's under appearance. And of course, you have to have a block theme installed. I'll show you this in just a few minutes. But basically, the customizer area is no longer there. You cannot customize the things in the customizer anymore. And you will have an editor feature. And then the editor gives you the ability to basically design on a live view of what your site is going to look like. You can do a bunch of really cool things. I'll show you. You can customize pages or posts. You can do archive pages. You can do custom post types. You can do all of it all within the WordPress dashboard, which is really cool. So that's pretty much what full site editing stands for. Block themes, they have a different architecture. Basically, a block theme, there's no more PHP. Granted, there's PHP fallback. Like if you needed to use PHP, you can. But a full site editing theme, a block theme, those two words are used interchangeably. Those two things are either those themes. They have a JSON file and a theme.json file and HTML files, and that is it. The JSON file spells out like all the settings, the colors, the fonts, the sizes, those types of things. And then the HTML file is what actually renders the page. And we can see that in a little bit. Also, there's a lot better performance for block themes. Think about the old way of doing things, I guess. The way of spending time building these custom themes and then queuing style sheets. That's one of the ways that WordPress calls like, oh, if you need the style sheet for something, you can enqueue it. But in general, like you could be enqueuing all of those spreadsheets and all of those resources, the JavaScript, all of those things that you don't even need on a single page. Maybe that is reserved for a post of some kind. You need those things. So it's a ton better performance-wise because only the blocks that show up on that page, they're gonna load the resources for that. And so those are some things, some advantages of using the block themes. Now, classic themes aren't going anywhere. I don't want to scare you. It's July 2023. I don't want to scare you. The classic themes are going away. No, don't build any more themes like this. That's not the case. I think that these themes will be here for years and years to come. It's the platform of which we built WordPress is built on. And I think that there is going to be, I don't know, kind of like the classic editor was said that, oh, they're going to deprecate it in 2 or 3, 4 years. Like it's still a thing. It's still going on. They haven't got rid of it. It's going to be the same thing with these classic themes. And by classic themes, I just mean the standard ones that are built with PHP files, that you have your custom pages and all of the things that everything up until like the last couple major releases, 2023, 2022, those two are block themes, but everything previous to that are these classic version themes. Some differences. Like I said, there's no more PHP. Block themes use HTML. Functions are no longer needed to display content. So if you wanted to say like, oh, on this page, I want to make sure that all of the comments or all of the categories and the tags are added. So if that's the case, like in that page template, you would have to go in and you would have to say like, I want the category to display here. And I want the tags to display here, or the post date or the author or any of the comments or the previous posts. Like those were all PHP functions that WordPress used, and those are no longer needed to display content. I'll show you how all of this works in just a few minutes. Classic themes need a lot of logic to properly display. this is honestly one of the features that is really nice about the block themes. Like, say example, you have a header and you want a big header on the home page. Maybe it's a little bit taller, maybe it's the logo is a little bigger, maybe the menu is a little different, and but then all of your subsequent pages, you want a different style header and you want a different menu, or maybe even different menu options. So then you're writing this endless loop of logic that's like, if not homepage, display this, otherwise display this. Or, you've got all of this logic in, and it seems like maybe that's just how I program a bunch of themes, but there's always like conditional logic. Like, look, if it's this page ID, then I want you to display this. Or if it's not this page ID, I want you to display this. Or if it's this page ID, like no footer or whatever, like there's, it's so much easier to use with the block theme. Again, we'll show it to you. And the classic themes needed a query loop. So you had to get the right content on your page. Maybe you had to say like, oh, for this page, I need to pull in the data from this post type, or I need to pull in like 7 posts, or whatever the case may be. You had to like manually add that to a template and then pull in that information. With a full site editing theme, you just use a query block and say, I want 3 columns. I want the featured image. I want this, and this, and you're done. It's in the template. It's completely set up. It's really, really easy. So those are some differences. I've got another screen here with a few more differences. The navigation is no longer created in the menus area. It has a navigation block, and it can be customized on the page by page basis. So if you want your homepage to have one type of menu, and then all of the single posts on your page to have a different type of menu, maybe your products page have different menu. Maybe you want to create a landing page. And I guess that's kind of the next point. You can create custom template pages for 404, custom post types, or right from the dashboard. And probably one of the really good examples is I get I'm the web developer for my wife and her side businesses, and she's always like, can you create this landing page? And this landing page has to have, a different logo at the top. It can't have any menus. It's got to look like this. It's got to do that. And every time I've got to create a PHP theme and a template file and then edit it. And it's not editable from the WordPress side. It's always edited in a code editor. And so I haven't completely switched her site over, but I'm really excited to be able to say, oh, you want to, this theme, let's use the template, and we can do it all right from the dashboard. And hopefully we can get to the point where a lot of that content can be driven by her, and she can fill in all the details, and then there's less cumbersome on me as a developer. And so that's kind of the same reason, or the same thing to think about when you are developing for customers or clients, that, let's see, tell them and teach them how to do things so that they don't really need you to do those one-off day-to-day things. And the other thing that is not different, but the functions.php file still works. So when you are transforming to a new theme, you can just copy that whole functions.php file, move it into the new theme, and you can go from there. You mentioned speed. I did mention speed early on, like it's going to be much faster. But the things that I want to talk about is the site will load very, very quick, but it's going to also speed up your development, because you don't have to worry about custom templates anymore. You can build the pages with custom menus with no extra logic. You can easily edit any template from the WordPress dashboard. You can get to any of them from the WordPress dashboard. You can, I think it's going to save, like, if you would say in general, it takes you 15 hours to build a regular site. That's probably a low estimation. Say it's going to take you 40 hours to build a WordPress site with all these features, with custom post types, with this, that, and the other thing. I would say in 20 hours or 25 hours, you can get pretty closely to the same amount of customizations with a full site editing theme. All right, demo time. Let's go ahead and roll a demo here. Let me turn on my screen sharing here. I'm going to open up my dashboard. So my dashboard is here. See that okay? All right, so this is just a standard WordPress site. It has WordPress 6.2.2 installed. It's the latest version, and it is a pretty boring site. So if we look at the site itself, we've got just a bunch of general content. I had a generator kind of generate a bunch of content here, and I just want to go through and showcase how to customize this. So we are looking at if we go into appearance and we go to themes, we're looking at the 2023 theme. So this is the brand new theme that came out with WordPress, one of the latest releases of WordPress. So we've got the theme here, and the very first difference you'll see is there's no longer a customized menu. There is an editor menu. An editor menu means that this is where you go in and edit in the full site editing mode. So basically, once you get in here, there's a couple different areas to navigate across this dashboard. We've got templates and we got template parts. Templates are going to be like all the templates that come with your theme. So this theme has a 404 template. It's got an archive, blank, blog, home, index, all of these good things. These are all the templates. And we can also manage templates. I'll tell you a little bit about this in a few minutes. But then we also have the template parts. So we've got the comments, we got footer, header, and post meta. So those are all things that these template parts can go onto multiple pages across your site. So if you have a header, you can pull in that header on multiple pages, and you can use it right within WordPress. So let's go ahead and let's first look at creating maybe a different header for here. So you just have to get into the editing mode itself, you've got to click on an area on the page. And we can see that we're in the home page template, looking here at the home right here at the top, and it shows all of the latest posts. That's how we've got this page set up. That's perfectly fine. And then, so we've got the menu area. This is our header. We can see that it's a template part. We see it's a header, and this purple outline just means it is a reusable piece of content within WordPress. Okay, so if we wanted to change this in any way, shape, or form, usually the easiest way is to use this block inserter and open this up, and then we are going to look at patterns. And we've got all of these different patterns. These are built into the theme and built into WordPress. I guess both. There's extra ones here if your theme includes some patterns. But basically, if we look here and we look for headers, it's going to pull up and it's going to show us a few different header types. And we can use this to just swap out our header. So maybe on our homepage, we want our header to look a little different. And so we can click this and it will add this right to the page. I guess I didn't do it in the right section, but if we go up here and we can change this to, actually, maybe the easier way to do it is let's go in and let's go edit the header itself. So you can go in, you can manage the templates. Let's see, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to go in and do the template part, and I want to do the header. So I want to go in here and I want to edit this, which this is the header where we've got, just looking at the header itself, we've got to go in and we can change the header from here. So if we click on this, it's going to change what the header looks like. Now, obviously that isn't the greatest because it's got everything smushed over here. And this happens within the WordPress, I guess the way that, let's see, how do I want to say this? If your cursor is not in the right place, and this is a perfect example of how this can be very frustrating, is it added it over here versus like taking it out and putting it where it should have gone. So this is going to be your magic friend up here. It's called list view. I call it the stair step view. I don't know like what exactly it is, but it basically will allow you to see where content is put across your site. So we got this whole group, and if we move this group all the way up to here, now we're going to have our menu kind of where we think we should have it. So if we go and remove this group, which was the old one, and we can save this, and it's going to say this affects the home page and it affects the header. And yes, we want both of those things, and that's saved. And we can go back over here. And so our menu will look like this, and now we can refresh, and now there's two of them because our header page has two of them on that. So I'll go back here, and this was the mistake that I made earlier. If we go to our templates and we can click over here, and we've got our header, and then we added this box that isn't the header. And so we can just go ahead and remove it, remove the stack there. We can remove this as well. And now if we save this, this is going to say it's only going to change the home page, and we can say, yes, that is exactly what we're looking for. All right, perfect. Now, let's say, for example, maybe we want to take this and we want to change the background color of this. Maybe we want this whole section to have like a different background. So we can go over here, and we always remember, like, if you don't see these settings, this is, again, I'm kind of a magic button. It's the settings panel. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe. It's a square with a line like a little bit down the side of it. But this gives you the ability to see all of these settings and all these options. So right now it's justified to the center. Like we could move it to the left, to the right. It's not going to move a whole lot because it's in this like kind of column here in the middle. But then what also you can do is you can go to these styles and you can change the color, and you can change the background, and you can change the link color all from right here. So if you wanted your header to be like an orange color, we can change that to orange, and then we can change text to white, and links can be white as well. So that will change those colors like this. This is going to be a absolutely hideous looking site as we go through the demo, but I just want to highlight some of those things of how it works and how you can manipulate and use this to completely customize your WordPress site. Okay. Now, since we've kind of updated this header, like we need some more menu items. So if you click on the menu and we get in here, and honestly, like a lot of times you have to click a couple times to get the right options to show up on the right-hand side. So if we click here, like, okay, that's great. We're in the navigation block, and we can do some things here. We've got settings where you can customize like what it looks like. We have the links. We can change this to, change different colors or whatnot. But here is the new like area to add menus. And so we can drag and drop them if we want. We can move them up and down. We can move them around. Like that looks kind of silly to have two sample pages. The three dots here will allow you to remove. And then we can click on the button and we can add a custom page link or a custom link and a page link. If we click on this, this will look at some of the pages that we have on our site already. And we can do this and we can click on it and then we can change this to be like, maybe we'll call this the contact page, even though it has, it's just a bunch of gibberish here. Contact. And now looks like my cursor keeps leaving. Contact. Okay, you get the picture. We're trying to let's see if I do this. Okay, we'll call it contact like that. And then we can save that. And again, this is going to save across the header. So any place that it has this header or in the anywhere that the navigation block is pulled in, this specific navigation block will pull in there. Okay, perfect. So another thing we can do is we can look here, and this is going to show our latest posts, but I want to highlight here the query block. And so basically, and again, I kind of do this second nature because I've done this a lot, but you can click on the different sections and you can customize the different text color. Like if you click on here, if you wanted to change the text color to pink, like you can, it's going to change all of the body font to pink. If you want to get rid of it, you can click, let's see, you can click on, that's even worse. I guess just pick on one of these base colors here. So we're going to keep that like that. But what you can do here is this little button here selects the query loop. And so when you select this, then we've got some options of how we can display things on this page. So remember, this is the home page and it's displaying the blog post. So we can click on this button if we wanted to have a little bit different of a layout, if we wanted long images versus small images. So we can click here. We can look at the query loop over here. We can say how many columns we want. So maybe we want 4 columns and we can do that. Or maybe we want just 2 columns and it's going to show them bigger. And there's just a bunch of settings hidden a bunch of places. So we can change the full width status. We can look in this panel and we can see like different things if we want to add a block before or after, and we can do quite a bit here. If we wanted to have if we didn't want to put featured images, we would just remove the feature image. We can hit delete and then they're all gone. If we wanted to add them back, then what we would do is we could go in here and we could create, let's see, always adding a new block sometimes is like a kind of a pain. So we can say image, I think it's post featured image. And so right now it's showing below the title if you wanted to do that, or you could bump it up and you can say, I want it to go above the title. And you can say that these images link to the post, which is pretty handy. You can also say if you wanted to open them in a new tab, you can also, I think you can also do like an overlay. So if you wanted to do some sort of like light green overlay onto your images, so they all have like a specific theme color, like you can do that as well. So there's a lot of and honestly, like the way to kind of understand how to do it and how to figure out how to do these layouts and whatnot is you click on it and then you look at the right-hand side and see what kind of settings can you do. And you can do and these even do these are preset ones. And so you can have blue styled ones. So that is an option as well. All right, let's see what else is on my list. So menus I wanted to talk about patterns too. And so let's go into if we click back on this WordPress logo will normally take us back to if you're in a post or a page, it'll take you back to the just main dashboard, but this is going to open up your templates again. So if we can go over to our page template and we can see what our page template is going to look like. Basically, this is what it looks like right now. And we can go in and we can look and you're like, oh, is this really what I want? Or how do I want this to look for? But again, these have the ability to do patterns you can look at your posts for patterns. And so you can show, these are a few different layouts that you can use. Maybe if you wanted something, I don't know, this one looks kind of different. And so if you click on this, it's going to add this to your post, and it just adds it right to the bottom. Like there's a few things in this whole system. It's like, really, is that really where it should go? But again, we're going to open up the list view here, and we can say like, this is the group here, and we can just move this right to here. And then our blog post page, I put it in there. Maybe. What in the world? Yeah. Where did it go? Okay, this is the good use of the undo button here. All right. So if I were to use that, if I would want to use a pattern, let's just remove everything that's right here. We'll just remove the whole thing, and then we can click here and we can insert a pattern of this. Let's see, we're going to browse all of them. They're going to show us over here, and we're going to want a blog layout like this. Oh, and then now it entered it twice, which is fabulous. So again, we can see that it was added twice, and we can go back up to this list view and we can just delete the second one. Again, this is like, I don't know how do I say this, like it's the latest and greatest, but again, there's still issues and there's still things that even we run into every single day trying to work on this. So let's see, this will affect the homepage because I messed with the header a little bit, and that's all good and fine. So the patterns are there. I think the patterns are really good. Like if you wanted to add like down here at the bottom of the page, let's go here, let's click on here, and let's go into browse all and like a call to action. So this one would be a really good one to add, like a schedule a visit, like get in touch. Like you can do this, and then you could link this to your contact page or whatnot. So if we save this and take a look at what our site looks like, we got the orange banner. We've got this. Oh, because we changed what this page looks like. So if we go into here, now we will see. What are we working on? We can look at this. And this has the blog post pages in it. Now, what we did is really not the greatest. And this is one of the mistakes that I want to point out when we're editing things. So remember, we're editing the page. And so we just built this page, but now all of a sudden, every page that we open, and this happens like every day in support, they're like, where's my content? And because we're pulling in all the blog posts. We added a blog post pattern to a page, and we don't have like a content block for showing off the actual content of the page. Like if we open up and we edit one of these pages, we can see there's actual content in here that we want to display. So there's no content there, but there's content here. Like what happened? Where did it go? And that's probably the biggest thing to think about or to understand and learn is when you're editing in the template view, the appearance underscore or like appearance editor, that is going to be the template file for all of those types of pages across your site. So you never want to go in and add specific text or anything like that, because it is going to remove and get rid of the query loop, if you will. So what I want to do is I want to show you how to restore and get this back. There's a couple different ways that we can do this. So we're on the page, we can go to the template block, or we can go, there was a way to, okay, well, there's one way to do it. There's the way to do it here is we can go back to manage all templates. This is going to pull up all of the templates here, and we can see which ones we've customized. Like we haven't done the 404, we haven't done anything with a blank, but we can see that we have customized the page. And since we're just getting into it, we're just doing it, like we can actually clear the customizations, and it'll empty everything that we just did, and it'll go back to normal. So we can take this, we can refresh, and now we can actually see the content of that page. Now we still have the featured image, like this template. So if we go in to the template, still has the featured image set. This is the the post featured image, and I don't believe my post here has a featured image. So this one does. So if we go and look at this, it shows that featured image right there at the top. Okay, so that's a little bit about how you can customize the paged template. So if you wanted to say, for example, like post title, then after the title, you want to say publish date. Maybe it's just date, post date. That's what that's called. And so we can add the post date right there. And here's the format. And you can also display the last modified date if you like, and we can create that as a link to the post. So we will save that. And then if we're looking here, we don't have a date, and we can refresh, and now we have a date. Obviously that doesn't look very good all the way over there, but that is where it's put on this page. It's justified all the way to the left. We can center the date. Let's see, we can also, I don't know why that's going so far to the side. It seems like it's outside the post box here. But I guess the layout, you can set the, like here you have the option to set the layout of how wide you want the content. But for this opportunity, you don't. I don't know. Again, I would say we're still probably in the infancy of like actually 100% using this for all your themes and all your sites. I think it's really good, but there are definitely some weird issues. Like, why would this go all the way out here when your content only goes to there? Like, how does that make sense? But I guess what we could do is we can go back to our group here, and we can post content. I guess that's even inside the thing. Like, I don't know. It's great for live demo work. So we'll put it at the bottom for now. The other thing that I wanted to kind of highlight and share is if we go back into our WordPress site. So we keep clicking back here and we get to our WordPress site. Let's go into speakers. So like this is an example of a custom post type. We've got a bunch of speakers on our site. We can click on the button and we can see that, okay, we've got Jim and we've got all the details here. Okay, great. That's how by default, this looks and works within the editor. So it basically is taking the custom post type and it's using the regular post and it's putting that information right there on the page. So if we wanted to change it and do something different, we would go to the appearance in the editor, and then we would go into templates. We can manage all templates. And then up here in the upper right-hand corner is a button to add new template. So if we click on the add new templates, we can add a template for the front page. We can do an archive page or a speaker page. So these are both the custom post types, the speaker. You can see what a single post looks like if we wanted to do a customization of that. And so you can create any of these posts or any of these things WordPress knows about, and you can create a custom template based on that. So for an example, this will be a single item. And let's see, you want a single template for all items or a specific one. So I want for a specific item. Oh, so this will allow me to say for Jim only, I want his to look something like, I want the image to be at the bottom for some reason. Maybe I'll put his title first. And we can save this, and then we can look at Jim. And now his name is at the top. Again, the theme is doing wonderful things with cropping and optimizing and making it not look the greatest here, but it's actually showing here. We can actually, if we need to, we can go over here to the settings, and we can say margin bottom. We can say that we need a bigger margin on the bottom. And a lot of these settings are hidden behind these three dots. If we wanted to do padding, we can turn on padding, and then you can see what the padding looks like. If we needed to have more padding around there, we could do that as well. We could probably even go into that date thing that we had at the weird. Okay, we also don't need like any of this stuff because it's a post, like it's a speaker. So we don't need any of this information. So again, probably the easiest way is to go here and then get this information, and we can remove that. and we don't need any comments on a speaker, so we can remove that. And then we can see the footer looks like this, and this will be the footer that is used across the entire site. Again, if you needed to have a different type of footer, you could create multiple footers, and then you could put the correct footer that you want in there. So we can do that too. So we'll save that as Jim. We will look right now. Jim has the comments. It's got all that. And now when we refresh, he has none of that, and he's got the proudly presented by WordPress. So if we go back to, if we want to go back to do a template part, we can go back to here and we can do a template part, and we can say that we want a new footer. This is a speaker footer. We can create that. And then maybe the speaker footer, we can change the color background from white to this yellow color. Okay, and then we want to put, what do we put there? Maybe let's, just for the fun of it, you can actually even put the, you could put a featured image, like if you wanted to, you could put their image there. Let's see what else type of stuff that you put in here for the, maybe we can even do some navigation too. So like, and we can change these to be like, we can add like all of the speakers to the navigation at the bottom. Now, I don't know why you would do something like this. This is just something that you could do. And let's see, if we get out of this, then we can see this menu here. We can, sometimes if you click on the navigation window and then have this open, then you'll see this a little easier. So we can remove that, we can remove that, and we can remove that. So we can do that, and now we can do a refresh. Oh, it's turned the whole thing yellow, which is not desirable. Oh, this is just the footer here. So then we can go back to our, I changed the whole color of everything. Let's see. To templates, to speaker Jim. We can edit this. I want to change the global. This is the up here in the upper right-hand corner, this styles, these are the global styles. And so when I changed that for the footer, I thought I was changing it for the footer, but it changed actually for everything. So we can save that global custom styles. And then here at the bottom, let's say, let's put it underneath here. If you type footer, the template part, and then you choose which template, speaker footer. And then we can remove this footer. Get that back, and then his image is down there, and then the links are down there as well. So you can completely customize things without, I haven't written a single line of code, and there is a, there's a lot of customizations that you can do. The other thing that I want to share is sometimes maybe you'll have a page that you want to create these quote unquote landing pages. And a good example of that is, let's see, let's look at this page. Maybe this we want to be a landing page itself. We don't want any header. We don't want any footer. We don't want it to go along the custom template routes or like the template that we've set up for a page. You can actually go over here to the template section and click on page. And then this little button here will add a template. And maybe what we'll do is we'll call this like a Facebook page. You know, maybe this is one that you want people to come to from your Facebook page and then sign up for an email list or whatever. And so we can say this is a page, and then we're going to create a custom page called Facebook. Okay. We're in the template editor now. It's kind of kicked us over there, and we can get rid of like the stuff that we don't want at the top. So let's see, we don't need like this. Where's the delete? Remove. We don't need this section. So we just have this, and there's no footer or anything down at the bottom. So this is a very different page. Let's see, this one, I think. So now we renamed it Facebook. There's no header up here. If we wanted to, we could come in and we could add our logo at the top. Let's see. You can see how sometimes it's just a big pain to get your, let's see, header. Like so, we could put our site name up there, put a logo or whatever. And now we've got like a big long sales page that links to nowhere else across our site. So there's a lot that you can do. It's pretty much like up to what you can decide, like, right. You can figure out how you can, how you can customize things, what kind of information do you want there? Like if we wanted to say, let me see here. I think I can even add like, let's see, custom HTML. I have some meta. Aha. Okay, so there's the post meta if we wanted to add that, and then we can customize. That's a post meta block, and that shows all of the details there. So I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you wanted to, a good example is if I go to, this is my, this is my wife's site, and there's a speaker area that we have here that has like a square picture and then the name, and then this is the excerpt, and then they've got these Facebook buttons that are like custom meta, and then we've got the their bio right here. So if I wanted to create that, basically I would take this, set it to the side, and have two windows open at the same time, and then start building the theme, the new full site editing theme to grab any of this details and data. So like maybe the excerpt, I think we can add that over here to, where were we? Speaker Jim. Can we add the excerpt? Yeah. So we can add the post excerpt. So we can save this. Again, it's weird how this theme is using this full width dealio. But if we go and edit the speakers and we add the excerpt, then we can say he's got a PhD in WordPress. That's not even a thing, but we can say it is. And then we can view Jim. You can open up Jim here. And then it shows that information right there. Again, I don't know why that seems to like to be justified all the way over there. That's just and you have no like controls. I mean, I guess we could do a padding and a margin. But that's kind of silly to, like, you can see exactly how it works, but. So yeah, so that's what I really wanted to share with you. Those are the points that I wanted to get across and just share kind of like, again, it's a new experience. And I think as we continue to get 6.3 is going to have a lot more new things that are coming, which is pretty cool. Like they're just adding some more features for the site editor and making it easier to do a few different things. And so that's coming out in the next couple weeks. But I think we're to the point where we can start to get serious about redesigning sites using a theme. And so if you wanted to check and choose like what themes that are out there, you can actually go into the appearance themes area. And if you search for block themes, because it was searching my themes for block themes. We can actually like filter by block theme. So then you can see all of these different themes that are available already as block themes. And so you can pick one of these and you can start designing to your heart's content. The really cool part is that there's really not a need anymore for child themes because we're not editing any core code. Like everything that we did was all customized right within the WordPress dashboard, right? So there's not really a need to do to duplicate a theme or to have a child theme anymore, which I think is pretty nice. The only reason that you would want to have a child theme is like, let's get back into the editor here. If you're over in the editor, like you can see, we'll do a template here, like maybe even the 404 page, like here's what the 404 page looks like. Okay, great, whoop-de-doo. But like when you click on text, like your theme will have these colors specified. So if you create a child theme, you can specify like your core brand colors. So if you wanted to have like a blue and a green and a yellow and an orange, like those are your colors, then you can put those in the theme.json file, and those will be the ones that automatically appear right there. So it makes it a lot easier for other people to say, oh, I want blue or I want green. They can just click the button versus like trying to figure out what is the exact text code for the thing on our site. The other thing that I didn't highlight and I didn't share, because there's a couple minutes still at the top of the hour, is this browse styles area. You can see what the different styles, like if you wanted to change the theme of the site itself. So like I've got this default one, but there's different ones that came with the theme. So you can do that there. The other cool part is this little I don't know, eyeball, but it is called the style book. And you can open it up and you can see what all the styles look like for all the different things. So here's all of our headings. So H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. We've got paragraph. Here's what the list looks like. Here's what a quote looks like. Here's what a code block looks like. Here's what pre-formatted text, a pull quote. You can go over to media and you can see like, here's what an image will look like. And here's the gallery and here's the audio player. You can see the design. So here's your button. If you wanted to, you can go in here and you can work on changing the button color. So of course we can change this to orange. Like that looks good. Can we set it? Why can we not actually set the color? But anyways, like you can go in and you can, oh, maybe you click here. No. Well, this is a wonderful experience that I'm showcasing today. Oh, maybe you click there. Okay. So I was clicking on the wrong thing, but you can, so it's showing, these are your color palettes here that you have, and then you can change like, oh, if I want yellow text, which is impossible to read, you can do that. So the style book is really nice in the fact that you can see exactly what this looks like, different groups, different page breaks, and then you can add some CSS there if you wanted a custom link. You can see what that typography looks like for a link. You can change the font to different font for links if you wanted to. You can do spacing. You can make sure all links are all uppercase or they have no changes like that. So there's just and here you can even like go and look at all your blocks. So if you wanted to see what a calendar looks like, you can click on calendar and it will show you like the settings for the calendar. So which is right there. And so if we wanted to change the typography, you could do that. If you wanted to change the colors, like you can make the background of this green, and then you can change the text to a blue. And again, impossible to see, but you can do all of that right in through the editor. So like this area, this style book will show you everything that's going on your site. So you can make sure that you've got a real optimal look for everything. So anytime you call a button, it will now automatically be this blue color. So if we save this, and we can say like, if we go here and we want to put a button, and let's see, text, like now that button is green because this page didn't refresh. And now the button is right there. It is the green color. So is there any questions? Do we have any questions or anything that you want me to cover or look at or share? I'm happy to do so. We've got just a few minutes left here. I think that the other good part, and I didn't mention this in the presentation part, was that when if you've been using the block editor for a while, like to create posts and pages, it's going to start to feel natural. It's like, okay, well, I need to go over to the right for the settings. I need to look here, like just know the difference between the gear is going to be the settings for that specific area, that specific thing. Like here for the buttons, like we can make this button be a full width button, or we can have a 25% button or anything like that. We can change the colors here. So if we wanted to, we can actually change the background on this page alone. It will be the green color, but then a button on another page, if you go to a different page, then the button will be the same color as you set it globally. So the global styles are up here in the top. Don't get confused by changing the global styles up here, because that's what I did earlier to change the background. We can turn off this, but if we go up here and change the colors, this is going to be the background and the buttons for everything. I didn't save that other button color, but otherwise that would have been the right color for the buttons. And then, yeah, so that is full site editing in a short 45-minute presentation. There's still probably a ton more that I need to learn and a ton more that I can do, but I think it's really valuable that we can go in if we wanted to say like, oh, we wanted to have like a fun image here. You can actually go up to the patterns or go here to patterns and do media. And we can do open verse. And so if we wanted to, like, say 404, do they have any images that we could use automatically from there? Yeah, those are different. But if we wanted to say like beach, we can add this directly to our site. Just say 404. We are at the beach. Search again. And that'll save as your 404 page. So if you go out to here and you say James instead of Jim. So now we've just customized it, and you're like, oh, here's the search. Like we can search for whatever you need on the page. Yeah, so I think that is all I really wanted to share. There's a lot to using full site editing. And honestly, like it took me probably, I started to try to build a theme in full site editing mode, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't wrap my head around how it works. But supporting people and giving like answers every day of like how to change your theme, or like how do I rearrange something, or how do I delete a whole bunch of stuff? Like you can actually go in here and you can hit this shift key and you can highlight all of the things, and then you can just delete them all. So if you wanted to, you can just remove blocks and boom, they're all gone. And then you could come back if you needed to. I think one of the great examples was I had somebody that said, oh, I don't want to do this because I might mess it up. And I said, well, you can't really mess it up because it's digital, right? You can go in and you can save, you can read, you can undo and you can move things around. And like, it's all like just a learning curve. It take an hour to try to duplicate one of your sites. And then I think you'll be a little bit more of an expert and you'll understand how it works. I've got one of my sites, this functional medicine site, that I'm like 50% of the way done with. And I just want to get it done because it's been on my list for a long time. I've got different logic. Like if it's on the home page, it's got one set of menus and it doesn't have the shopping cart, and the shop page has something else. And it's just like, I just need to be able to get it all like very close to the same as this theme. And then from there, I can go ahead and start making upgrades and customizations and whatnot. I didn't even show like you can actually, when you're in here, if you have WooCommerce installed, there'll be WooCommerce blocks. So we can go in here and we could add all kinds of blocks for WooCommerce, like featured product, or like list these 4 products, or like on this page, maybe even 2, like you would say like this page could not be found, search. And then maybe after the search box, we could say, look for posts. Is that an option here? How's the best way to do this? If we just look for like post content. Or maybe we want to like put a query loop in here, and then you can add some excerpts for like a couple posts in here. You could add like, oh, here's the latest 3 blog posts that we've written, or you're on this page. Here's my 3 best-selling products, or whatever. You can do all of that right here, like inside of the inside the editor on this 404 page if you wanted. So as you can see, like not having to not go into the dashboard or go into VS Code or your code editor to make a change and then update your theme. And then, okay, I need to display this information, then go in and then write the CSS and fix it. Like that would have, I could have made progress on maybe one page in the hour that we just spent customizing a bunch of pages to make them look absolutely terrible based on the way that we've kind of designed it. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you're interested in more webinar content, you can leave a comment in the notes below, and I'll be happy to do more comments or more things as WordPress continues to roll out these new features and make sure that we're all someday using this full site editing feature when it comes to WordPress. So that's all I've got for you. Take care, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.